Hey everyone, this is your Act 3 summary of the tragedy of Julius Caesar. For those of you who are not coming into school tomorrow, as in Tuesday the 17th of March, you guys are going to need to continue reading this act tomorrow. You need to finish Act 3 tomorrow, and you need to do an assignment on it as well, which I'm going to post on Google Classroom right now. For those of you who do come in, then we can read it together, we can go through it together, but for those of you not coming in, this video is for you guys to help you understand the act. Now, if you're reading at home, you're welcome to use No Fear Shakespeare to help you, because I know some of this stuff can be difficult. Obviously, I would rather you use the original text. If you need to use Google No Fear Shakespeare to help you, then that is something you can do. So let's just have a look at where we are at with Act 3 of the tragedy of Julius Caesar. As you know, this act began with Caesar being warned to stay away. There was a letter from Artemidorus. He didn't stay away. He went into the capital, and that was where he was stabbed 23 times by the senators. Then that moved on to Antony arriving on the scene. And this is what we read in class today for those of you that were here with us in class. Antony comes in and sort of pretends to be friends with the conspirators. He shakes their hands. He's clearly very shaken up, but he's putting on a pretense to make it seem that he is friends with them. And then we had this interesting moment where Antony asked one favor from the conspirators. And that one favor was that he would be allowed to speak at Caesar's funeral. Brutus, as we know, as we discussed yesterday, said, as we discussed today, said, yes, that's okay. But we know as well that Cassius was a little bit uneasy about that plan. And that's right here where we were up to at the end of today's class. And we talked about those divisions between Brutus and Cassius. In the rest of the act, we're going to see the funeral take place. But before we get that, Antony has a soliloquy. And that's what I've got highlighting for you right here. Oh, the highlighter's not working. Let's see if I can get a marker pen. Annotate, let's try that. Oh, well, it's not the best annotation in the world. I guess I'll practice more of this, right? This is a soliloquy from Antony. And what I want you to look at in this soliloquy is what's going on in his emotions. He's clearly expressing a great deal of sentiment with regards to Caesar's murder. Have a look. Use the side notes, which are here to help you. Sorry about my circling skills. And that's going to give you lots of clues as to what's going on genuinely in Antony's mind. Now, I guess I clear all my drawings, if you can call them drawings. That's being very liberal. Now, I want to stop annotating. I've stopped annotating. Then, in scene 2, we come to the funeral itself. Now, one of the things that Brutus does in order to to make sure that Antony's speech at the funeral is not too effective, is that he says he himself is going to speak first. You know, he will be the one representing the views of the conspirators before the masses. He's going to calm all this situation down. He's going to take care of business. And, you know, everybody's okay. They're going to hear Brutus speak. So let me get my annotation again. How do I do that? Right, here we go. So, you know, people are thinking, sorry about that. I'm going to hear Brutus speak. It will be okay. So they agree to hear Brutus speak. Stop it. There, we got it. And Brutus speaks. And he tells the Romans, you know, that this had to be done. It was for the good of Rome, you know, this whole thing that Brutus has been saying. So have a look here in this section here. I wish I could annotate more easily, but let's try a better. What about Spotlight? What does this do? No, that doesn't help me. Let's try something else. Let's maybe try a nice thicker line. So in this section here, Brutus is saying to the masses, so look at that for me. Concentrate on what he's saying, because this comes in the assignment as well, justifying what he's done there. And look at the reaction from the masses right here. Now, we spoke about this in class today, about how the masses are often seen to be very fickle. But if we look here, now where's my annotation gone? Here we go. Look at that reaction right there from the masses. Live Brutus, live, let him be Caesar. Caesar's better part shall be crowned Brutus. They're buying this. They think it's really good what he has to say. Now, think back to Act 1, Scene 1, where Metellus and Flavius were complaining how fickle the masses can be. This is another example right here. Okay, but then Antony gets up to make his speech. So after we see this, and we then get one of the most famous Shakespearean speeches ever made, it's this one right here. It begins with a very famous line. Where's my annotation thing gone? It's gone. Here we go. So right here, friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ears. This is a very famous speech by Antony. And I need you guys to read this speech very carefully. Look at No Fear Shakespeare if it helps you. Look at the side notes here, because Antony switches the campaign directly. From going to saying, long live Brutus, Brutus has got this, Antony managed to convince the masses not only that the conspirators got it wrong, not only that Caesar was actually a really great guy, but his speech indirectly instigates the violence that will dominate Acts 4 and Acts 5. This is a very, very famous speech. You guys need to read it carefully. Part of your assignment is for you to evaluate which speech is more effective. This one we have right here from Antony, or the speech I just showed you from Brutus, and why. The other thing I want you to be looking for are rhetorical devices in either of these two men's speeches, but I'll give you a clue. You will see it more in Antony's speech than you will in Brutus's speech. So what you're looking for are examples of repetition, the repeating of words or sounds, parallelism, which is the repetition of grammatical phrases, and I would like you to try and find rhetorical questions, as in questions you're not really expected to answer, kind of like the answer is too obvious. Have a look to see those examples, because that is what we consider the hallmarks of effective speaking. So let's clear those. Come out of here a second. So you're going to read that, you're going to analyze that for me. And again, have a look at how the crowd reacts to Antony. See how that compares to Brutus. And all of that comes together in this famous, oh, sorry, I don't know what's happened there. Let's get back on the right page. Oh dear. Technical difficulties, but we're back. A very, very famous last line at the end of this scene, which is right here from Antony. So let me get my annotation here again. And it's right here. I've managed to circle the main bit. Mischief, thou art afoot. Mischief, problems. Antony knows that he started off the course for problems that are going to affect Rome's future, because the masses have been very much provoked by this. The other thing to look at in Act 3 is the introduction of another important character, and that is Octavius. Octavius Caesar would be the rightful person to take over from Caesar. He is Caesar's nephew. And so Octavius Caesar is on his way back at this point as well. And this is another crucial plot point to be looking out for here. Then finally, in scene 3, the final scene of this act, we see a shift. It's a very short scene. Oh, I need to clear those annotations. Let's just clear that all up. There we go. So we can see here, I won't annotate anymore. See here, look how short this scene is just there. Now, what I want to draw your attention to in this scene is this character here, Cinna. Now, you have seen that character name before. Some of you have read that character, Cinna. He was one of the conspirators that was there. However, this is a different Sina. This is Sina the poet. But what happens in this scene is very, very powerful. The masses, the plebeians, do not at the beginning know who this guy is. They ask him his name, and he says, I am Sina. They think he's therefore one of the conspirators, because we'll see that Mark Antony reveals the names of the conspirators. Look at what they decide to do to him, even when they realize he is not the poet. Sorry, even when they realize he is in fact just a poet, he was not one of the conspirators. It's a very telling scene that Shakespeare is revealing to us the behavior of the masses and what's happening in Rome at this point. I think parallels can be made here between this and A Tale of Two Cities. The way Dickens was not always particularly favorable about the behavior of the masses, we kind of see something similar here in this very short but powerful scene. So that's my guide to help you tomorrow. If you're not in school, you don't need to connect during class time. You need to finish reading Act 3. Make sure you read it. Use No Fear Shakespeare to help you. Submit the assignment before 11 o'clock. Make sure it's individual. If you do come in, we can read it and we can discuss together if you like, or you can be doing it individually as well. Trackers for this act, Alba and Carlos. You need to make sure you're updating the tracking document as you go. That's your responsibility. I will be checking that document at the end of the week on Friday. All right, guys, that's it. Good luck with this. I will check back in with you to help you out with Act 4 and Act 5. I'll see you soon. Bye.